welcome or welcome back. It's Jen, and I'm here on my new channel just to share thoughts and feelings about things that are happening in my life related to parenting, career, family, and whatever else feels important to me in the moment. So today I was working on preparing a thank you note for one of my mom's friends that made a cute little Halloween gift for my daughter. And I just wanted to send a little thank you note in the mail to acknowledge the time that she spent on making this very thoughtful gift for my daughter. And I was acknowledging that my mom has been spending quite a bit of time around, and it's been nice to see that my mom has this great network of friends that they support each other and do nice things like this, making gifts or thoughtful gestures for their children, grandchildren, and families. And it's been nice to re-engage with my mom a bit since my daughter was born. I have spent quite a bit of time apart from my family, and this has been somewhat intentional. As I grew up, I also grew apart from my family in terms of my thoughts and opinions, political views, religious views, and culture of what I wanted in my life generally. And I think that people are complex, and we often try to make decisions. We as a culture, United States culture, try to make things very black and white, and people are complicated, but unfortunately when it comes down to certain topics like politics, it frequently becomes an either or situation, and it then makes us always have to be in a position of yes or no, and if it's a no, then you're in opposition, and it can be really difficult to find common ground. So that's a little bit about what my video is going to be about today, and I was reluctant to start off my channel, my first topic video that's not just an introduction to myself, being on a divisive topic like politics, the election, family, holidays, and all of the challenging emotions that comes along with that. But it is a timely topic, and so I thought that this discussion could be helpful for some people out there that have gone through or are going through some of the same challenges that I've had with having differences of opinion from family or people that are, otherwise have been or are close to me. So I decided to go ahead and tackle this topic, and also because my goal with this channel is to practice allowing myself to use my voice and to say the things that I want to say, even if they may be difficult. So here we go. I'll start with a little bit of background story for you. So I left my family home when I went to college, and I experienced a new world, and eyes opening, so to speak, of different ways that people approach the world and different thoughts that people have and rationale behind those things. And it resulted in me having a difference of opinion with my family on a lot of things. And whenever I would try to discuss these things with my family, it would result in a lot of anger and arguments and just unpleasant endings to those types of conversations, and conversations that never really went anywhere or got to a resolution, and always left me feeling unheard, unacknowledged. And so it definitely distanced me from my family a bit. And with the more recent elections and candidates, and I'll say heightening of opinions and emotions and divisiveness in our culture, that has been reflected in my family and my family relationship. And when I was pregnant with my daughter, I wanted to try to re-engage with my family a bit, because I thought it would be nice for her to have this relationship, and I knew that it would be very important for my family to be involved in her life. So I wanted to find a way to move forward with that. And I had to establish a boundary of, we will not talk anything about politics, because I don't like where that conversation goes, and it's negative and it drains energy and it leaves everyone feeling unhappy. So we can talk, but we're only going to talk about other topics and avoid the negativity. And when I had that conversation with one family member in particular, it was not received well, and they chose to not speak to me for a long time. And that was okay. I made that boundary, and they had their response to it, which I cannot control. And my intention was to protect myself by setting that boundary, and I was able to act on that intention, and so I felt good about it, even though the result was not ideal. And I've had other recent conversations with family that have reinforced the need for me to keep this boundary, because when anything remotely political gets put on the table, it results in bullying of me. So, basically questioning my ability to make good decisions, questioning my values, and it quickly becomes personal. So I have had to maintain that boundary and remind myself and remind my family of this boundary, so that I can continue to protect myself. And I think that this tactic of making things personal and attacking the other person is not uncommon. And I think that it's easy to get caught up in it and to get angry, because that's a normal emotion to feel when somebody is attacking me, is to feel angry and to want to respond in a negative way and put it back on them. but if I stop to think about it, I know that trying to continue the conversation or turn it to a positive light or change the other person's mind is just, it's not going to happen, because I am working from a different set of facts than that person is working from, and it's hopeless to try to reason and come to a agreeable conclusion when two people are too far apart. So it's easier to avoid those topics and find topics where we can find common ground, and things like my daughter provide an opportunity for common ground. So I never want to put her in the middle of anything, but she can be a very good way to deflect a negative conversation by changing the topic. And, recently when something like this came up, I had a visceral reaction to something and felt the need to run away. And so I sort of did just that thing and was like, oh, my daughter needs help with something, and just ran over to her to, put her hat on, and it gave me an out. So again, reflecting on these situations, I'm noticing a common thread that is occurring with this blame and bullying and taking and wanting to make things personal, wanting to make it to challenge the other person in a very negative, personal way. And I see that in political candidates, I see that in my family, I see that in the workplace, and it's a very common strategy that comes down to bullying. And I think that it happens when somebody is feeling jealousy or fear in the workplace, and they pick on somebody else, but subconsciously bringing this other person to a place of fear like they are in, and a place of uncertainty like they are in, and being able to bring somebody else into that bubble with them then makes the instigator feel like they have some power, which provides them some comfort over their own fears and allows them to feel a little bit of enjoyment or power over these other people, and putting someone in their place. I think that this is an extremely unattractive trait in anyone, and especially in leadership. And when this occurs in my career experience, it's typically from people who are in power and are using it to maintain power over other people in their job function. And it's extremely damaging, because not only is it bad in that situation, but it coming from a leader is teaching this as an acceptable approach to leadership, and then it perpetuates the problem, because the people that are being mentored are seeing this as a reasonable approach to take, and it perpetuates this problem of using this fear tactic. Ultimately, I think that this negative cycle is not productive, and it results in an erosion of trust and in inability to really work together in a wholesome way to tackle difficult situations as a team. If you don't feel like you can trust your mentor or your team members, you're not going to be willing to be vulnerable and to offer your thoughts and ideas, which may be the best, thing for the situation or the company. And identifying and addressing this type of faulty leadership is something that I want to be more attentive to in my career, and something that I want to be able to incorporate into all aspects of my life and just interacting with people on a day-to-day basis, be it my family or friends or career. And my current strategy for dealing with this type of situation has been to look for and lean on friends, mentors, colleagues that are coming from a place of support and positivity. And I have had the opportunity as a leader in my organization to be part of the hiring process and bring on people that have these values of empathy and trustworthiness and vulnerability, recognize when someone is going through a challenge and help them. And it just feels so much better to be in an organization where people support each other and feel safe. So I hope that I'm able to model this positive leadership for my daughter, for my employees, and for anyone who happens to be in my presence, because I want my daughter to grow up with this sort of empathy, as well as the confidence that she can speak her mind, that whatever she feels and thinks, she is right to feel those things. And she can support others in that validation as well. So, with the election coming up and holidays coming up, there are some strategies that I want to share that might be helpful. So, look for your support system. Hopefully you have a friend, a family member, someone that you can bring along to whatever gatherings or interactions, a colleague if it's a work thing. That's a great solution. If you need to have a difficult conversation, bring along somebody who can be your backup if you're not comfortable having that conversation alone. Also, with family and the holidays specifically, avoid alcohol. That's me personally. I avoid alcohol. And when alcohol is around, which is always the case with my family, when people have had too much to drink, it's the time to disengage, to get away, to save myself from the drama that will ensue. So have conversations, have topics for conversations that are alternate things, that are positive things that you'd like to discuss or share or learn about from your family. Have a plan for how you're going to keep busy. For me, I love cooking and I love spending time with my daughter. So that's a way that I don't have to be continuously engaging in conversation with people, because I can be distracted by cooking a pie or a green bean casserole. And that makes me happy. It saves my sanity. And trying to keep things positive, when thinking about these people that cause challenges in my life, I am going to do my best job to think positive and encourage the things that they are saying or doing that are kind or helpful or admirable. And that positive feedback will hopefully encourage that positive behavior. Okay. In closing, thank you so much for listening. I hope this was helpful to you. I want to encourage you and tell you that I believe in you and you can do the hard thing. It may be discouraging. You may get angry. You may get hurt. And do your best. If the hard thing for you is to engage and to use your voice and say what you want to say, give it a try. If the hard thing for you is to set that boundary and disengage and give yourself some separation, give it a try. Either way, all you need to do is try that hard thing and be proud of yourself for trying, because regardless of the outcome, the success is you standing up for yourself and protecting yourself. So, with that, happy voting and happy holidays. I hope that you are able to enjoy time with your loved ones, and even those that are difficult to deal with.